Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Motovlog. This episode is quite special. We're gonna have a look at the Honda NC750X 2017 version with DCT or dual clutch transmission. Okay, what's changed in comparison to my own motorcycle, which is a NC750X from 2015, but the manual version. This is the DCT version, so the automatic version. Okay, so there have been some aesthetic upgrades. They raised the motorcycle in general a little bit. Now it looks more tough, it looks cooler. They also use a new exhaust, which is great. I think it sounds better. It sounds also a little bit louder in comparison to my other bike, which is great if you're stuck in traffic and cars need to hear you when you pass through the lanes. They also added LED lights, which is great. At night they should be a lot more clear in comparison to my older bike. They also did some stuff to the display. It's a colored display. It has a bit more information. You get a nice overview of everything that's happening instead of needing to shift through all the menus. For this version, you have the switch between the normal drive mode, the sport mode. So if you press it twice, then it switches in between normal and sports mode. There are 3 different sports modes. You can switch them while driving. Of course, because it's automatic, you have the minus to lower your gear. There's one at the back to higher your gear. Here from this side you can switch between the automatic and the manual mode. There is also this small button here which starts your grip heating. Okay, well, they gave me as well some extra boxes to bring with me. I don't usually use them myself, especially when I'm just doing my regular daily commuting. But as soon as you're going somewhere, especially if you're going on a trip, of course, it's super helpful to have these on top of what's already in your own locker compartment. Because, of course, this is a NC750X, which has quite a reputation because of this extra space, which I love. And the good thing is that it's even bigger than my own one. So now it fits my helmet, which is lying over there. It fits it perfectly. For the people that don't know the NC750X, if you switch it around, it opens up the fuel compartment over here. It looks still exactly the same, nice and easy, voila. And then you close it again. That kind of sums it up. Now let's go and have a look at what it feels like to drive it, because after all, that's what it's all about, right? No clutch. When you start this bike, start driving for the first time, it will feel really weird having no clutch at all if you're coming from a manual motorcycle like most of you guys. It shifts quite unexpectedly, especially in this standard drive mode. It does this in very low revs to save fuel. That's actually one of the reasons why I like the sport mode a little bit more. It's more similar to what I'm doing myself when I'm doing manual driving, manual shifting. It goes a lot higher in revs. It's easier to anticipate when it's actually going to start switching. Okay, But let's stick to the standard mode for now. Okay, we're going 50, it's already in 60, already in 5th gear, very low in revs, and yeah, it will definitely give you better fuel economy if you keep on using that. It's advertised as 3.4 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers. Realistically, you'll get closer to 3.8. I was excited to try this bike. As I told you, I use it to go to work every day, going through a lot of traffic on the highway. If you get up early or if you return home late after a busy day of work, you're not always very fresh, very actively looking for dangerous traffic. Not having to think about switching these gears all the time. It's actually very comfortable. You can just enjoy the view more. You can start paying attention to other cars more. As I was going through all these gears, or the computer was, it just goes immediately to these high gears, and you can feel it switching. You can even hear it. You'll notice that, of course, it's a computer, and it anticipates really well at what he thinks that you're going to do to switch the gears. But once in a while, he might be mistaken, and in that case, it's also very easy to just switch to lower gear, get into the higher revs yourself, and then correct the mistakes of the computer. The bike itself, it's definitely not one of the lightest bikes, so don't expect this to be like a super sporty bike. And this doesn't mean that it can accelerate very quickly, because it can, and it can reach speeds of 150 an hour quite easily. So see, so that was in the normal mode. Okay, see, that's the difference. So if you don't do anything, it will also lower your gear automatically and starts braking on the engine. So we've had the normal drive mode, different sports modes, and let's now switch to the manual mode. See, the switching of the gears almost goes instantly. It's really a lot of fun. If you're just starting with this, it's also a little bit confusing, so you're only getting used yourself to not having to switch gears. And then with this mode, of course, you have some kind of in-between. This is my trip to work. I will probably run into quite a bit of traffic. So you can see 35 kilometers an hour. It's only at 2000 revs per minute. See how fast it shifts to other gears. But see, especially here, it's nice that you don't need to think about that clutch all the time. Getting into the right gear, computer does it for you. Okay. And it's also really easy that you don't need to go into neutral. You just stop, and even though you're in first gear, you put your feet on the ground and you're good to go. Okay, we're in traffic. Lovely. So, still in the highest sports mode. Some other typical behavior of the computer, and it does this in both the normal mode and the sports mode. If you're driving at 120 kilometers an hour and then you give a jerk on your gas, then it will lower its gear to 5th. Usually you're already in 6th gear at that time. Okay, we can actually show that here. So now we're at 110, 120, and if I go up, going in 5th, 4th even, 5th, yeah. And a bit lower again. So that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap up this video. Thanks so much to Honda Belgium for letting me try this great bike. It's been a really great experience. If you use your bike every day, if you're stuck in traffic a lot of times, if you love a great fuel consumption and this extra storage space to be carried with you, then I guess this is the bike you need to buy. Okay guys, that's it. Thanks so much. Over and out.